Indians have long been known for their charitable work. We donate copiously. We donate to churches, we donate to mosques, we donate to temples. We donate when there's a child born in the family, when there's a birthday, when there's a death anniversary, when there's a marriage and so on. And these monies are always well used. The temples, the churches, the mosques use them for charitable purposes. But charity always has a condescending ring about it. There's something patronizing about it. And so today charity is out. Today we talk of NGOs. NGOs have taken over the work that charities were doing in the past. They are more modern, they are more professionally managed, and they don't dole out. They try to help people to upgrade themselves. Today, to discuss managing NGOs, we have somebody who has been at the helm of an NGO and running it for some time. We have today Tiffany Brar. Tiffany, which NGO do you work with?
I work with an NGO called Braille Without Borders. I've been working there for the past 5 years, and now we have a project called the Mobile Blind School. So I'm running that, and alongside with that, I'm doing a course in social entrepreneurship, which will help me to run my project better.
Tiffany, you are a blind person yourself, aren't you?
Yes, sir. I'm totally blind.
You've been blind at birth.
I've been blind since birth.
Our first young panelist today is Annapurna. Annapurna, have you ever worked in an NGO?
I have not worked in an NGO as such, but then my father is a social worker. He is the founder and executive director of Sai Gramam. And from the time I was born, I have been in close connection with that. Like, it's more like a family for me, because all the celebrations, festivals, everything I spend with the children, their orphanage, old age home. So it's the
How
NGO
do you
is more like,
describe Sai Gramam? Is it an NGO? Is it a charity?
it is an NGO. There are many projects undertaken by a trust, and there are orphanages, old age homes, and there are new projects like dialysis center. And so I have been, from my childhood, I have been seeing the works, activities and projects of the NGO.
Our second young panelist today is Amal. Amal, what do you do?
Yes, sir. I am a postgraduate in development administration and currently pursuing coaching for the civil service examination.
Have you ever been associated with an NGO?
Yeah, when I was during my course, I have done internship in some NGOs, as well as I have worked with as an intern in Kerala Institute of Local Administration, which gave me an in-depth knowledge about the operational areas of NGOs.
Avanish is our third panelist. You run an NGO, isn't it?
Yes, sir.
How long have you been running this?
I have started my NGOs since 1 year back. It's not I, it's me, rather I will say we, because an NGO is a activity of a group, and it's a it's a people of a group of members having same mindset but different ideas and ideologies. So I will rather
How
say
old are
we.
you, Avanish?
I'm 21, sir.
That's very young to start an NGO, isn't it?
Yes, sir. But like I said, the attitude, sir. Age doesn't matter, sir.
Tiffany, how would you describe an NGO? How is an NGO different from a charitable organization? Is it different at all?
Yes, it is very different. I mean, an NGO is basically, it's a non-governmental, non-profit organization working for the development of people, of the downtrodden people, or of its target audience. It can be an NGO for the blind, it can be an NGO for women empowerment. There are different kinds of NGOs. A charity, when people give charity, they just give alms or food or money to downtrodden people. They don't care much about their development. But an NGO does not simply dole out, as you just said. However, it ensures that they are helped in some manner. They are given vocational training or education or empowerment skills or some kind of training which will help them to carry on with their livelihood. Charity is temporary. It will just give them money for a certain period of time.
In the case of an NGO, then would I be right in saying there's an attempt at developing the human resource of the person whom you treat as a beneficiary. Would that be right?
Well, sir, I would say that it does empower them. If I'm a special educator, so my vision is to empower the blind so that they, not human resources as in they may not be able to work in companies just yet, but they at least are empowered to suffice themselves, to travel independently or to according to their needs. Like when we have NGOs for women empowerment, they are trained in some vocational skills which will enable them to earn a small part of their livelihood.
NGOs describe themselves as non-profit organizations, but at times there is a profit motive behind NGOs, isn't it? They make profit, maybe not directly but indirectly. Annapurna, what do you say?
I don't think so, but because my father, the trust, it's totally non-profit organization, and there are times my father used to say, like, there are times when there is not a single rupee in the bank balance, and my father, he was a businessman and he spent all his earnings on it, and for me, what I have seen, it is totally non-profitable.
The objective of NGO is to be continue as a non-profit, but still in practical way, there are NGOs who are doing corruptions and making profit out of this service. And this is, sir, but the thing is, if they are making profit, then also there is some limit for that. I mean, if somebody is making some cartoons or games for children and selling that, then the profit comparing with that business and the non-profit is when we comparing that, this is very less. So the profit which if they are making, then also it is less in amount.
I'll move on. Avinash, you said, you used the word we.
Yes.
When I started addressing your NGO as your. But many times NGOs are one-man organizations or one-woman organizations.
So there are many cases.
Somebody starts an NGO and then it becomes a private property of that person.
So there are many cases in where it's like tyranny going there. One man is taking decisions and others have to follow him. In those NGOs, the thing that happening is like the work is not being carried right in a right way. The work which they take is just for the satisfaction of that particular person. So it is not the kind of way an NGO should be run.
How do you prevent an NGO becoming a one-person organization?
You can prevent that by including all your employees, including them, involving them in your process of decision making, having some external people also coming and examining the activities of your NGO, and also being very transparent in the financial management so that all your funds and all your decisions do not go to just one person.
There is no democracy in an NGO. If you look at a company, shareholders have one vote. And if you have more shares, you have more votes. If it's a cooperative society, each person has one vote. And they take a decision by majority. In an NGO, even if you have discussions with your staff, you don't have to have a majority decision there. It's ultimately the decision of the person who runs the show.
Well, sir, I wouldn't say all NGOs have that. It depends from NGO to NGO. There are some NGOs where they ask their staff that should we do this, should we do that, and if an NGO is only being ruled by one person and the decisions of that one person is not favorable to its target audience or to its staff, then the NGO tends to deteriorate. But some NGOs, yes, sir, as you said, that there are some NGOs who force their decisions upon their target audience and upon their staff.
So NGOs are normally one-person shows, isn't it, Annapurna?
I don't think so, because it could be where everyone can join in. It necessarily should not be one-person show, because it could be a trust or a society, and in there it will be a group of people who is running an NGO, and it should not also be limited to the group of people. It can also expand to everyone. They should make sure that everyone can join in and be a part of the NGO.
What is what the difference between an NGO being a trust and between a society is the difference between Tweedledum and Tweedledee. There's not much of a difference, isn't it? Both there is somebody who is in control.
Difference is that if we are looking for a trust is more like it has a basic infrastructure, land area, it owns a land area. So to become a trust, we should own a land area to have a basic structure of our NGO or something. For society, we can work freely, we can go into some homes, and we don't have a our self-finance, like nothing like that. We are looking for beneficiaries and other people who will approach us with funds and all.
Tiffany,
Yes.
is there a difference between a trust, an NGO being a trust, and an NGO being a society? You think that makes a difference?
Well, I think a trust, their decision is restricted to the trustees and the board members. Well, I think if it's registered as a society, there are more members. I think there are more than 7 members in a society, and yes, you can take different decisions. You can also involve a lot of other people in your funding, and you can involve a lot of people to take your decisions to help.